brings a new Mr. Chris.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Richard Ramersa, owner-operator of East Rosebud Fly Shop in Billings, Montana. And joining me tonight is my good friend, angler, fly tyer, Pierce, juicer, OJ from here in Billings, Montana. Pierce, how are you?
Good, how are you today?
Very good, thank you.
Very good.
Yes. What Pierce is going to tie for us tonight is a niche streamer called the Grinch. This pattern was designed by an outfitter out of Columbus, Montana by the name of Corey Kober. This pattern is rarely available commercially, so it's not easy for me as a shop owner to get. Learn how to tie it, fish it. It's one of our region's most effective patterns. Any comments, Pierce?
I think the Grinch is probably the greatest streamer to ever be thrown on the Yellowstone River.
It's hardcore.
What we have here today is a size 6, 1X strong, 2X long hook. I think size 6 is probably one of the fishiest sizes in this bug. I'm always amazed at the number of eats the Grinch gets, you know, the size of the fish on such a small bugger pattern. It's truly an effective streamer pattern. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw in a little bit of lead wire. This is 030. You can use whatever you want, whatever you got around. Just kind of adds a little bit of top weight to it. Kind of keeps that bead in place. Now we're going to take our working thread and we're going to start it. And we are just going to work through these lead wraps. Just get them nice and secure. I mean, like I said, this bug gets a lot of eats, so a couple extra thread wraps never hurts. Alright, work back here to the bend of the hook. Get this guy out of here really quick. Alright, what we're using for thread today is 3.0 MFC premium tying thread. Super strong thread. It lays really nice. Just a beautiful, beautiful thread. So, an interesting thing on this pattern that I've actually started to kind of incorporate onto my bugger patterns is just a little bit of deer hair, a little bit of stacked deer hair in the back. There's theories that this puffs the fly, this does such and such to the fly, and I really think it does a nice job of keeping the marabou from fouling. And you know, I mean, I think maybe it could have a little bit of an effect on the eats it gets and kind of the action of the fly in the water. That combination of a heavy tungsten bead. By the way, this a 3/16 size bead. So we're just going to stack that hair up nice and good, and we're going to pull out these tips here. I don't have very many fibers at all. Just a couple's all you need. I'm just going to kind of line those up pretty far back on the shank. And it's just a little bit, I mean, 2 loose wraps to kind of, there we go. We'll kind of wrap back along those a little bit. Get that good flare. Trim these top butts out of here. Alright. Gonna wrap back over those butt ends really quick. I mean, you don't have to, but kind of keeping that nice taper. The fly going. Next we're gonna add our marabou. And what I've got here is a dyed light olive marabou. And I like to pick the bushier pieces, and we're going to tie it about a shank length long. So we're going to set that on there. I'm going to do a little pinch wrap. Kind of keep that in place. A good, nice, puffy fiber. Alright. Get a nice marabou tail, and you kind of want to even out the body by compressing this marabou all the way up to your lead wraps. It's never a bad idea. It makes the chenille look just a little bit nicer. Trim that out of there. We're just going to kind of wrap and even that body out. Secure everything down nice and good. That looks pretty good. We're going to add our wire in here now. Actually, we'll go to our flash. What I have today is actually Flashabou Mirage. It's a new product to East Rosebud, and I think it's a new product to the world, and I think it's just a beautiful, beautiful material. I mean, it is just stunning. It's super limp like all Flashabou, but I should tell you what, it is just a lovely, lovely product. And we'll cut that out right at the... So what we're going to do is we're going to take our thread, we're going to split it in the middle, and we're going to kind of just lay these in here. Like he is getting them to lie perfectly along the hook. Get that guy out of there. Here we go. And you can, I don't know if you can quite see it on the video, but these put off just a great amount of different colors, and they really are truly red and bright light. And I think part of this pattern's effectiveness is actually kind of the red, the amount of red tied into the pattern. I don't know if fish kind of recognize that as gills or what, but it is just lovely in the water. Wrap back along there, make sure everything's pretty lined up. And I like to measure back to my marabou and trim those out of there. There we go. You can tie this with as much Flashabou as you want. You can even layer it across the top, and that provides a pretty neat effect as well. Right, we're going to tie in our wire now. What I have is just a ultra wire size brassy, red to kind of match the theme of the fly. Just a good wire. I'm going to secure that in there really good with lots of wraps of our working thread. Kind of just even out this jump a little bit too. You can see I'm pretty liberal with the thread, and not a bad thing. I fished this pattern both on the swing and on the strip, and I honestly couldn't tell you which is a more effective way to fish it. I've even tied these as small as a size 14, which is really just a nymph, and believe it or not had a wild amount of success fishing it dry dropper style with a chubby Chernobyl. I think fish just chow this pattern. Kind of lay down some nice even wraps of our chenille. Make sure it's perfect. We're going to just tie this off with a little bit of space at the head. That's to tie in our hackle and our throat, which is going to be red iced up. Alright, trim that guy out of there. Perfect. Alright, now we're going to tie in our hackle feather, and you can use whiting bugger packs. Whiting bugger packs, you know, the bottom half of your nice saddles at home, your high and dries. This happens to be from a high and dry. And you want to tie it in so you can palmer it backwards. And this is one spot. It's always good to use a couple extra thread wraps to keep that hackle fiber in there, the stem in there, everything in there, especially after a couple of fish, because they will chew it up, you know. Alright, so now we are going to, I like to take a couple of wraps behind the head to give a little bit more prominent appearance of that hackle. That's up to you as a tyer, the sparsity of which you want to tie this fly. Once we get it back here, we are going to take our wire and we're just going to kind of figure eight it through here. Just kind of work our wire through here just like a regular bugger pattern. And then we are going to kind of just wiggle our wire through here a little bit at a time. Rotary vise is really nice to have for this step. Just a good way to secure that fiber down there, add a little bit of durability to the fly. Just kind of work on through here. Sometimes you got to watch that thread, it gets a little unruly, but there we go. Alright, now we're to the front of our fly. I'm going to tie this wire off, and then we'll use our scissors to kind of clean it up just a touch before we tie in our eye stub. Good friend, local area angler, Russell Ness, actually suggested the use of a Coq de Leon fiber, which adds just a beautiful wispy effect to the fly. This is a little bit more prominent and true to the Grinch's nature, but I will acknowledge the Coq de Leon looks nice. So we're going to kind of wrap back, and we're just going to kind of build a nice little area for our eye stub. Perfect. And we're going to take our eye stub, and this is just red. You can use UV. I like the red though. Take a nice clump, nice generous clump, and we're going to spin the end of it. And then we're just going to tie the end of this eye stub in like that. And trim that out of there. And believe it or not, now you can actually just pull on the eye stub, especially something this fine. It's almost like angel hair. And just spin it on your thread and make a real nice tight dubbing rope. Can't quite get that end to stick. Alright, there we go. Kind of pull back on our hackle fibers, keep them out of there. And we're just going to kind of work our thread through there. And that's going to provide a really just nice eye stub. Throw it on that fly. Trim that guy out of there. And that's kind of a cool tip for chubby Chernobyls too, especially on those smaller sizes, to kind of keep them ruly. Alright, now we're just going to throw a couple of half hitches in here. You can whip finish. I don't have a whip finish tool with me. And just be sure to hit it with some head cement. And you can tie this complex twist, you can tie this, I mean, any theme you want. I mean, really, I think a lot of it's the red and olive. I think those fish really like that. And that is the Grinch. Thank you.
Mr. Grinch, your heart's an empty hole. Your brain is full of spiders, you've got garlic in your soul, Mr. Grinch.